Alright, hey, Hayes Omega here, and welcome to another Hayes Omega Sur Ron video, alright? It's a show and tell video on the EBMX Sur Ron Mod Shop 72 volt 42 amp hour battery, alright? So there it is, in my bike. We'll take it out in a minute and we'll take a look at it. But yeah, and it was kind of a pain in the ass to get it to work on my bike, is what I'll say, alright? So if you know me, I have two Litespeed battery packs, alright? I've got the Litespeed 32 amp hour battery pack, alright? This is the 21700 cells. And I've got a Litespeed 30 amp hour battery pack right here, okay? Those are the batteries that I own. I'm borrowing this from a dude I met at Metcalf Motorcycle Park. I went riding with him one day, and he has an ERT, alright, Electric Race Technologies BAC 8000, and he had this battery pack. And so he's the only other guy that I know that has a 72 volt battery pack, I need it for a race this weekend, okay? I'm going to be racing in the Virginia City Grand Prix, and that's the reason I asked if I can borrow it, alright? So Gotham, thank you, alright? I know this battery is very expensive, and I will try to take the best care of it as I can, okay? He can't use it right now anyway. His stuff is up with this Sur Ron right now that he's got to fix, so it works out for me, type of thing, alright? Anyway, so there it is. This is a show and tell video for it. I've got it in my bike and I've used it, alright? I've used it for a ride around town and a ride up the hill. I will have a separate video on that. It was kind of like a range test, sorta. Yeah, pretty good battery, alright? Okay, so yeah, I've got 3 batteries for the race, alright? I've got this one and then the other 2, alright? So it's a 3-lap race, alright? It's a 3-lap race, and last year I only had 2 batteries and I could not finish the race, alright? I tried to charge the battery while I was riding. It still wasn't enough, okay? So this year I'm not messing around, okay? I got 3 batteries, alright? Every lap we're gonna pit in and change the battery, alright? For this one might be able to do 2 laps though, okay? So that's why we're gonna talk about this, okay? So this is made by EBMX, alright? Electric Bikes and Motos Extreme is what it stands for, okay? EBMX, alright? We'll take the battery out, we'll take a look at it. Where can you get these guys? You can get them from EBMX. EBMX is in Australia, okay guys? That's where Gotham got this. He had it imported from Australia. It was very, very expensive, okay? But you can get them in the United States, just not right now. They're kind of always sold out. Here, I'm looking at a Gritshift webpage, alright? Gritshift's selling these for $1,989, right? Pretty much $2,000. And then if you need the charger for it, which, I mean, chances are you probably do if this is your first 72 volt battery, it's another extra like 100 or 200 bucks, okay? The charger for this thing is $200, alright? A Gritshift sells it for 200 bucks. I don't know how much Gotham paid for it, but that's how much you can get it for at Gritshift, alright? I'll put a link in the description of the video if you want to check out the page. However, they're as of this video, they're not in stock, alright? And EBMX has a bunch of other batteries. They've got 60 volt batteries. They've got these freaking monster batteries. There's a battery. Okay, so this is the 42 amp hour version, alright? 72 volt, 42 amp hour. They do have 60 volt versions, alright, where you don't need to get a controller upgrade. And they have a 57 amp hour battery pack, alright? How does that work? Well, they have a there's a seat riser bracket here, alright, that pushes your seat back, and it opens up the area over here, and that's where they put the BMS and all the electronics and stuff. So all of this here, alright, there's no BMS in this area. It's all like freaking batteries, okay? So, and so this battery, the 42 amp hour battery, alright, I won't talk about the 57 amp hour on it anymore. That's pretty incredible. I will talk about the positives and the negatives of this battery that I've noticed, okay? And we'll compare it to the Litespeed battery packs, okay? But anyway, so this battery pack is big, alright? It's bigger than a freaking stock Sur Ron battery, alright? There are some modifications you have to do to the bike, that I had to do to the bike, to get this thing to fit in my bike, okay? I have a 2018 Sur Ron Light Bee MX, all right? It's a MX, all right? The very first Sur Ron. They don't make these anymore, guys. And I could not get it to fit unless I took the plastic cover in the back. Okay, this thing. I had to take the plastic cover that goes on the back of the end, the battery compartment. I had to remove it, all right? I was almost going to take the tray off, but I actually got it to fit by just taking that plastic part off. And then you need to modify the latch, all right? This is taller than the stock battery. It's roughly the same size as this battery, okay? And this battery needs a latch modification for it to fit also, okay? So basically, what you do is you need the latch to stick out more so it'll catch the latch mechanism, all right? If you don't have that, the lid won't shut, all right? It's actually kind of loose right now, too. Dang, what the hell? I might have to put something underneath there. Maybe it's gone farther in there, right? But it's super tight. It fits much tighter than a stock battery. I'll give you a demonstration of me installing it, all right? When we take it out of the bike later, okay? There's a charge port here on the side. It doesn't look like you can access it unless you open the lid, all right? At least on my bike. I don't have the actual latch. I don't have the latch that came with this. I had to modify mine. I made it longer, okay? I made it longer so I could, so it would latch in there, okay? And the battery is in there like tight, all right? It's bigger than the Sur Ron battery. You know, when you put the Sur Ron battery in, it's kind of loose in there, and it's really easy to pull out. This one is not easy to pull out, man. It is in there, all right? And so another thing is we'll bust out the scales, all right? We're gonna bust out the scales and weigh the batteries, all right? These 3 batteries and compare them. This battery weighs 37 pounds. I weighed it, all right? 37, 38 pounds, somewhere around there. It is noticeably heavier than this battery, all right? So when you pick this battery up and you pick the other battery up, you will notice it is heavier, okay? No joke. All right, and it will make your bike heavier. It will make your bike feel, you know, not as light anymore. All right, so when I noticed that when you're pushing the bike, you can feel the weight, and then when you're rocking the bike side to side, you can definitely feel the weight. All right, so that extra 10 pounds of battery, it makes a difference on the way the bike, you know, handles and feels and stuff. All right, but you get 42 amp hours. All right, 42 amp hours. All right. This battery is a 32 amp hour battery pack, all right? It uses a 21700 cell. That's the bigger lithium ion cylindrical cells, all right? How were they able to, this battery is almost the same size. These are almost, this is a little bit, this is slightly bigger than this battery, all right? The Litespeed 32 amp hour battery. How were they able to put 10 more extra amp hours than this battery in almost the same space? Well, they use pouch cells, all right? I think they're LG or SKI or something what they're saying. They're what electric motorcycles use, all right? So I used to have a Victory Impulse TT, all right? That had pouch cells in it, all right? Think of like a cell phone battery. You know how it's flat, you know, and you can just put it in it fits on a cell phone. Well, that's the kind of battery that they're using in here, all right? They're not cylindrical batteries like a AA battery or something. It's a flat battery pack, okay? The reason they can cram so much more energy into this battery pack is because this whole case is full of battery, right? The pouches are like they're stacked up on each other, all right? I'm not really sure how it is in there, but there's no air in here, okay? There's a lot of air in here, all right? Because you have to arrange the battery packs together, all right? And they're circular. So there's space in between the batteries, right? There's no space in between any of these batteries, okay? It's all battery in there, okay, guys? And that's what makes it heavier, and that's also what makes it more dense, okay? 10 amp hours. So what does that mean? The extra 10 amp hours means you can ride longer, right? You have a longer range, all right? And I had tested it on a ride, and I got close to 40 miles ripping it on the mountain roads, all right? It went way farther than this battery pack did. Okay, is what I say. All right, and if you have a higher battery capacity, it also less stress on the battery. All right, when you're demanding power from it, the battery is less stressed. All right? The voltage sags less. Okay, if you have a higher amp hours in the battery, all right? Higher capacity. Yeah, okay. So I believe this is this battery is around, if you do the math, all right, 72 times 42, I think that's around, that comes to around 2.8 kilowatt hours, all right? It's pretty big, right? I think the stock Sur Ron battery is around 2 kilowatt hours. I believe this one is around 2.2 kilowatt hours, all right? Is what I'm gonna say, all right? So, so some of the, so yeah, so that's the plus sides to this battery, all right? You're gonna get more range, you're gonna get more power because you're gonna get less voltage sag. It's gonna provide that power longer, all right? That's what I've noticed. What are the downsides to the battery? It's freaking heavy, man. It's heavy, and it doesn't fit in there very well. It's really tight, all right? It's hard to get in and out of the bike. I had to modify the bike a little bit to get it to fit, all right? So after this race, I'm gonna unmodify it, hopefully, okay? But it's a pretty awesome battery, all right? And yeah, so it's around $2,000. I believe this battery, this battery was around 1,800 bucks, so it's a little bit less than that, all right? But that one has extra 10 amp hours. That'll help you go the distance, all right? Could legitimately say if you were just putting around town with this battery, you can get 40 plus miles an hour, no problem, okay? But will your booty last that long? I don't think so on this awful Sur Ron C. Okay? Okay, so let's go take a closer look at the batteries, and then that'll be the end of the video, okay? What we can do is we'll weigh the bike with the battery in it, all right? And then we'll weigh the battery itself, and then we'll compare it to the other batteries, all right? In size and weight, all right? And like the amp hours, all right? So they're all 72 volt batteries. They're all 84 volts when fully charged, okay, guys? They're all lithium-ion battery packs, okay? And yeah, so let's go do the up close. All right, Hayes Big here. I've got the battery in the bike, so let's go weigh the bike first with this. If you guys don't know, a stock Sur Ron weighs about 125 pounds. Okay, so my guess, I don't know how much my Sur Ron weighs anymore, man. But a stock Sur Ron weighs 125 pounds. You figure this battery is about more than 10 pounds heavier. I'm gonna say it's around 130, 140, 150. Okay, 130 to 150. That's my guess. All right. So I've got two scales here. All right, and I'm just gonna lower. I'm gonna lower my bike onto the scales, and then I'm gonna read off the numbers, and then you guys will know what. And then I'll have to add them together. Okay, because I've only got two scales. I'm gonna put them sideways. All right, there we go. I dropped it. Okay, I've got a 79 in the back and a 75 in the front. All right, 79 and 75. All right, I'm gonna put this back up here. 79 and 75, right? Which is about 150, right? I'll do the exact math. Yeah, so 79 and 75, so that's 150 plus 4, 154. All right, so that was 154 pounds. All right, guys. I know you guys. I had to do math for you guys. Okay, let's check it one more time. Off of the scale, man. There we go. Okay, off of the scale. All right. 78 in the back. Say 75 on the front. 75, 78. All right. I had 79 last time. So 153. All right. You're in that 150, 155 range. All right. So bike weighs 150. Man, that's pretty heavy, dude. It's like 25 pounds heavier than a stock Sur Ron my bike. All right. But I have the KO Moto controller and motor. I think the motor's a little bit heavier than the Sur Ron motor. Okay. Yeah, I've got a lot of stuff on this bike, and also I've got the Supermoto wheels on it too. So, probably the Supermoto wheels are heavier than the dirt wheels. Okay, so around 155 pounds. All right, that's what we got. Okay, let's take it. Okay, yeah. So watch me take it out of the bike. All right, guys. Watch me struggle to take it out of the bike. All right, here we go. All right, I gotta open the latch. It should be pretty easy because there's no pressure on it. All right. And then, yeah, so there's a couple things I don't like about this battery right off the bat. So it's this battery capacity monitor here, not very good, guys.
So they mounted it in the front of the case, so when you shut this, it presses down on the battery, all right, and it breaks it. So what Gotham did is he kind of glued it back on there, and it kind of came off when I installed it on my bike. So I thought I broke it, you know, but he said it was already like that. So there's just a little housing in here that has the charge connector and the battery capacity monitor. Okay, I'll see if I can get that running for you guys, but I have to kind of fish it out of there. All right, but basically it has two modes. All right, you press this button here, and then it will display your state of charge in percents, and then you press it again, and it'll show you your voltage. Okay. All right, there's two connectors here that go out of the case right here. Pretty nice, and it has the connector for the Sur Ron right here. Okay. So what I like to do is when I put it back, is I let it hang out like that. And then I tuck it in there like that. Okay, should be fine. Okay, you got a charge port here. I can't use it when it's in the bike. All right, there's not enough room to get the plug in there. All right, and it uses a plug. It uses a connector very similar to the stock Sur Ron battery. Okay, then there's a grab strap here. All right, so that's the stuff for the top of the case. All right, let's go take it out of the bike. Take it out from the other side, but you guys can watch from the other side. All right. So I've got the case open. Basically, we're just gonna disconnect this. I'm not gonna bother messing around with the breaker, guys. Okay, I'm struggling. He's struggling already, all right? And then we just pull the battery out. We gotta make sure. I have to make sure my handlebars are straight, and then this lid is open all the way, because this. The latch, all right, is sticking out like way farther, all right? The latch is sticking out way farther than it normally does, okay? So you have to make sure that this thing is... Okay, I'll pull this bad boy out. This behemoth, it's stuck in there, guys. Oh, it's stuck, it's not coming out. Oh, dude. I can't get it out. It's stuck. This is no bueno. This is not good for the race because I have to be able to remove these batteries and get it off. I'm going to try to get it out of the bike, guys. It's probably just because it's been in there for a while. I'm not shitting you, man. I had to. I was literally lifting the bike up with the battery. It's that bad. It's that tight in there, man. Phew! I got it out. I didn't get it on video, but I was pulling and pulling. I was literally lifting the bike up off the ground. All right, with the battery pack is nuts, right? So here's the modifications that I had to do to get this battery to fit in here. There's that tray I showed you. All right, I had to take that out. So there's 4 screws that you got to take out. There's these 2, and then there's 2 in the back here, and then this tray comes out, and then on my bike where it hangs up is right here where the welds are. Okay, the welds for this bracket here. Okay, there's that beast. All right, there's the charge port. All right, so I'll show you the charger for this guy. So that's the it's got a 4-pin connector. All right, so if you remember correctly, the Sur Ron has a 3-pin connector, and then I know the Qi battery, the 72-volt Qi batteries have only 2 pins. All right, so they like to have their own special connector, so you can't use any other charger on it. It's kind of annoying, guys. Okay, so you have to use their charger, or you have to make some kind of adapter for this. All right, but I do have the charger for it. Gotham, he lent it to me also, because I couldn't charge it with my charger. So this is the battery monitor. Let me see if I can get it up out of there for you guys. Okay, if I kind of hold it like this, press the button. Here you go. Okay. What I've noticed is this thing is kind of slow acting. All right. It takes a second for it to figure out how much stuff is in the battery, all right? So we've got 77%. I was riding it today, so. And we've got 78.4 volts, all right? You press it one more time. It has a backlight, a green backlight, and then it turns off, okay? No temperature like the Drock one, all right? It's very similar to the Drock one, that's what I want to say. Okay, it's got a strap here. There's a holder right here for the strap, all right? And you bolt it in here. It says EBMX on it. I kind of like this. This is nice because you can replace it if it breaks. I always wondered what's happened if my strap breaks on my battery. It would be a real pain in the ass to pull it out of the bike, okay? I think it comes with these stickers too, all right? Got them, put them on there. It's kind of scratched up. So that's the brand, EBMX, Sur Ron Mod Shop. It's a 72 volt battery and 42 amp hours, all right? Okay, if you're wondering what the stats on this battery is, it's recommended 160 amps continuous discharge, all right? 160 amps. That's about, they're saying you can do 15 kilowatts with this, all right? This will be good for a 15 kilowatt tune. However, they test it for 18 kilowatts is what I read, all right? So potentially you could run up to 18 kilowatts on it, all right? It'll probably just heat up faster, okay? I have not got it to overheat, guys. What else? Oh, it's and it for peak current is 300 amps, all right? So you figure you can probably pick a number between 150 and 300 and it'll be okay, all right? But the higher current you draw out of it, the hotter it's going to get, and the more battery power you're going to use up, okay? There's some warning stickers on it. This battery is not able to be used on Sur Ron Light Bee X or Segway X260 with a stock controller, all right? No stock controller, it's 72 volt. Please consult your local EBMX dealer before installing. So you don't have to have an EBMX controller. I believe EBMX is coming out with their own controller, and they also have BAC controllers, I think, okay? But any controller that can run a 72 volt battery, you can use this, okay? Like I'm running the KO factory spec controller and motor, all right? And it runs just fine, all right? It's just the battery, all 72 volts comes out of it, right? 84 when fully charged, okay, guys? I think this is some kind of a serial number, MD210582. All right, they must have sold a ton of these. The top cap has security screws in it, so they definitely don't want you opening this. All right, it's a star bit with the hole in the center. Okay, and like I mentioned, that's where the connector comes out. There's a connector, wire connector right here, and it comes out, and then there's your connector that goes to the Sur Ron. Okay, and yeah, I think that's it. There's another warning label here. I should read it. All right, so all right, safety instructions: never try to disassemble this battery pack yourself. This will result in serious safety hazard and void the warranty. Always remove the battery from the bike prior to washing the bike. Okay, that's a good idea. All right, and then I would cover the wire, cover the connector to your bike. Let's see what's underneath it. I'm gonna just lay it on its side. Okay, nothing. All right, dude. I don't know how the heck we're gonna. You know what? I might use this battery last. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna use this battery last because this thing is so hard to get out of the bike, man. What the heck? I think that's what we're gonna do for the race. We're gonna use this one last, or maybe I'll use it on the second lap. I'm not sure. Anyway, okay, so let's go compare it to the other battery packs, and then that'll be the end of the video. Okay, guys. So you got the specs, all right? 72 volts, 42 amp hours. That puts it 10 amp hours more than this battery pack, and let's see, 12 more amp hours than this battery pack. Okay, these are two Litespeed battery packs that I own. Okay, so far they've been great. All right, they like to overheat all the time. That's what I say. I haven't got this one to overheat. Yeah, so also, yeah, so the specs: 160 amps continuous discharge, all right, is okay. And then 300 amps peak, okay? So you can do 300 amps, up to 300 amps for short periods of time, all right? Like a couple seconds, all right? Okay, so let's go compare it to the other battery packs, just physically first, and then we'll weigh them, and then that's it, all right? But I'll tell you this, this thing, I will install the battery pack, and then you guys will see how hard it is to install this sucker, man. Okay, so this one, like I mentioned, has the 4-pin charge port, similar to the Sur Ron one, but it's 4 pins. This one has a XT60 connector, where the on the upper left, all right, just like this one. This one also has a battery capacity monitor. Right, it's very similar to that one, except this one tells you your percent and your voltage on one window, all right? So you don't have to press it twice like the other one, all right? It also tells you your temperature, all right? It says 19C, okay? I keep on forgetting that that's there. Okay, this one has no battery monitor on it, guys. This is like one of the very early Litespeed battery packs. It does have a 200 amp breaker on it though, so it's pretty good. You can shut it and you can open it and close it. Okay, so I do kind of like this. It keeps the battery from sparking and stuff. Okay, and then this one has the charge port on the bottom right. All right, kind of where the discharge is on this. The discharge is right here. It kind of goes forward. The negative goes here. Positive goes to the breaker here, and then it comes out in the front here. All right, so each of these batteries are freaking different, man. This one comes out on the side of this little house here, housing. Okay, and then this one has the cable coming out on the right side here. Okay, I think the wire gauge is about the same for all of these. All right, this is an 8 gauge wire. That's what it says. Okay, and then they used all the same connectors. All right, guys. Okay, so this case is, I think this is aluminum. I think it's an aluminum case. One way to find out if it's aluminum, it's not really magnetic. Oh no, it is, I don't know what it is made out of, because it's magnetic. It's made out of like steel or some shit, man. Yeah, man. This is like a steel case. That's not aluminum, guys, because look, that's aluminum. This is not an aluminum case. Okay, if you guys, I think the stock Sur Ron battery pack is aluminum. Oh, surprise. All right, well, anyway, the case is made out of a magnetic metal, all right? All right, I think it must be steel, dude. It has to be steel because the thing sticks to it, all right? So these battery packs are have a polycarbonate case, all right? I've never really seen the case inside here, but inside here there's a polycarbonate case, and then it's got a shrink wrap around it, all right? That might be why these ones are lighter, much lighter than this battery pack, is what I want to say. Does it help to have a metal case? Yeah, I guess so, but so the drawback with this is, like, if you leave it in the sun, it'll get hot like really fast, all right? Same thing with these, but this one more so because it's metal, okay? Let's see how wide this battery pack is compared to the Litespeed pack. Okay, I'm gonna kind of put them next to each other. All right, as you can see, it's wider. All right. Yep, it's wider by like a 1/4 inch. It's pretty much wider by a 1/4 inch everywhere. Okay, guys. Now let's see the front and back. Yep. So I've got the front lined up pretty close. Okay, I got the front lined up pretty close. So here's the back. So yeah, it's sticking out a little bit more here. Okay. So it's wider. It's wide like this. It's wider this way and it's wider the other way. It's also taller. No, it's not. This is actually, I don't know, man. The flat part is not as tall as this, all right? But this is actually taller because, see this? It's got this thing like the stock battery. I wish they made this a little bit shallower. Okay, yeah. If they just made this flat, like right here, because there's nothing in here, guys. It's just it's hollow. All right, there's not that much stuff in there. If they made this flat, it would have been better, all right? Because then this wouldn't have happened, okay? The gauge wouldn't have got broken from the cover, that's what I'm saying, okay? And it would be shorter. It would be easier to fit in the bike. That's what I want to say. I think this is the reason why the cover doesn't want to close very easily. So if they shorten this, it would have been better, in my opinion, all right? Because this one fits better, okay? Yeah, all right. So these the straps are similar. They're these kind of cloth. I think they're nylon straps. Okay, I haven't broken mine yet, but this one has one going along the outside. This one goes in the inside of the wrap, and then this one it's just connected to the case. All right. I think this is very similar to stock Sur Ron. Stock Sur Ron is like that. Okay, and yeah. So here's it right next to the 30 amp hour pack. Yeah, the 30 amp hour Litespeed battery pack. The Litespeed pack is much smaller. Right? This is designed to fit in a stock Sur Ron battery compartment. Okay, it's shorter. The square part is shorter. You can definitely tell that the case is much longer. All right, and it's probably much wider than this one too. So these batteries fit much more like the stock Sur Ron battery. The stock Sur Ron battery was kind of loose. Like this will just drop in there, guys. I can do it one-handed. Almost. Okay, see how easily that goes in there? That one does not do that. That one, you have to like freaking shoehorn that sucker in there. Let's just weigh the batteries, and then I will show you how I install that battery, and then that'll be it, the end of the video. Okay, here we go. All right, I'm just gonna hold the camera here. This battery pack, all right, EBMX battery pack weighs. Oh, did it gain some weight? I thought the last time I checked it was 37. But it's 38 pounds and 55.4 ounces, okay? Just call that 38 pounds. All right, guys, there it is, okay? 38, 5.4. All right, let's go get this Litespeed pack. See how easy it is for me to carry this. The extra 10 pounds makes a big difference. Okay, so this is the 32 amp hour Litespeed pack is 27 pounds, 12 ounces. All right, it's more than 10 pounds lighter. All right, and you can feel it. It's a big difference in weight, man. All right, and here's the 30 amp hour one. All right, the 18650s. All right, this one is only 1 pound lighter. It's 26 pounds, 0.4 ounces. Okay, so we got 26, 27, and 38. All right. This is 11 pounds heavier than this and 12 pounds heavier than this. Okay. If you ask me, this is still a good battery pack. This small one, man. So yeah. So in my opinion, all right. Here's what I'm thinking. You should get the battery pack for what you intend to use it for. All right. If you need a long range, then this is a good battery pack. It's got a lot of amp hours in it. Okay. Like I mentioned, here's the difference, all right, from the range standpoint. Okay, 30 amp hours, I'll put a subtitle below, 30 amp hours, 32 amp hours, 42 amp hours, okay? Huge jump from this one to that one. Huge jump in weight, all right? The extra 10, so yeah, you've got an extra 10 amp hours over this one, but you've also got more than 10 pounds, all right? That's a huge jump in weight. So that's the drawback to this battery pack. It's super heavy, all right? It's super heavy and it doesn't fit well on the bike. That's my honest opinion. I wish it fit a little looser like these batteries, all right? It's too freaking tight, all right? At least it's too tight in my bike. Maybe the newer Sur Ron's got a bigger battery compartment. I don't know, man. All right, but it makes the bike heavier. You can feel it, all right? When you have it in the bike, you're just like, wow, holy moly, my bike is much harder to push around. You know, the extra 10 pounds, it makes a huge difference, especially when you're putting it up there, all right? Because you want to put the weight down low, not up high, all right, guys? All right, and then you saw how heavy my bike was with it. It was about 150 something, all right? You could just subtract however many, you know. So if this was, so it was 155, so you just subtract 12, you subtract 11, right? So it was like 140 something, okay? It's not too bad, all right? So I'll say I'll take the 140 over the 150, but yeah, so it's, you know, it's a case-by-case basis. If you need something with more range and more power longer, then this is a good battery pack, right? It's also very expensive. It's much more expensive than these were. I don't know if you can buy Litespeed battery packs anymore. I went to their website and it went somewhere else. So, but they're still working. I've had these batteries for about 2-3 years. So yeah, and I've beaten the crap out of them. I'm not gonna lie. I race with these batteries. Okay. Yeah. So for racing, all right, guys, if you're gonna do some kind of long distance riding type of race, like a hare scramble or something, then maybe this battery would be okay for you. Okay. But it's going to make your bike more of a handful to ride in the dirt, is what I'll say. What I will say is, when you're not moving, you can feel the weight of the battery. When you are moving, you don't really feel the weight of the battery all that much. Okay, that's my honest riding opinion. All right. So when you're moving, you're not really going to feel that weight, but like when you're not moving, or you're not moving very fast, you can feel that weight. Okay. So that's my honest opinion. All right. I did want to buy one of these batteries, but I can't justify having like freaking 3 batteries. I think 2 batteries is the most you're gonna want for one Sur Ron, guys. 3 batteries, you just be riding all freaking day, man. There's another battery seller, is Qi. All right, these guys All right, I have not tried their battery out yet, all right, but I do have their charger, and I do like their charger. It's pretty nice. Oh, I didn't show you the charger. Okay, so here's the charger, guys. All right, looks familiar, right? This is a very similar charger to the Litespeed Bikes charger, right? And then you can find these on AliExpress. I believe these are 200. You can get these for $200 at Gritshift. I think if you buy the battery from them, they give you a little discount. But there it is. All right, it's got a 14 gauge cable on it. All right, pretty thick. It's much thicker. Let's take the Litespeed back thing. Okay, there's the two chargers side by side, guys. All right, so this is the Litespeed Bikes charger, and this is the one that comes with the EBMX. All right, or at least the one that Gotham got for us EBMX battery. All right, so there is the connector for it. It's a 4-pin connector, very similar to the Sur Ron one, but it's a 4-pin. All right, the Sur Ron is like a 3-pin. The Qi battery is 2-pin. All right, I know that. This one has a XT60. All right, good old XT60, good for up to 60 amps. All right, and I've got a couple extension cords. So that's the nice thing about the XT60. It's easier to work with. You can get extension cords for it, parallel cables, yeah, you name it, you can get stuff for it. All right, I haven't had any problems with this cable getting hot, but I have had problems with this cable getting hot. All right, this wire is totally inadequate for this. All right, this thing gets super hot when you're charging at 12 amps. All right, both of these chargers are capable of 12 amps. All right, so 72 volts, 12 amps. All right, it's in Chinese, but I know that's 12 amps. What's this 23? There's 84 volts. I don't know what the 23 is, but yeah. So this is designed for 110 volts. All right, that's what we use in America for the most part. All right, so you can plug it into a 110 volt outlet, and this will charge at 12 amps when it's at full power. All right, it looks very similar, right? Yeah, it's literally the same charger, guys. The cord is better on this. All right, this has a 14 gauge cable, and I think I'm gonna upgrade mine with one similar to this. All right, because this is totally inadequate. When I was I have a video of me charging the battery, and you'll see. Oh yeah, charge times. All right, spoilers. All right, if you didn't watch my charging video for this guy, how long it takes to charge it, I'm gonna spoilers. It took me 4 hours to charge this thing. All right, guys, it takes a long time to charge this thing. I ran it all the way dead, and then I charged it. It took 4 hours. All right. It takes a long time. I heard it was 3.5 hours, but it took me 4 hours. All right, it's nuts. All right, and then I was monitoring how hot this cable gets. This cable doesn't get hot at all. All right, guys, the cable doesn't get hot. However, the plug gets hot. All right, this plug gets hot. This is also a 14 gauge cable, so the wires don't get hot, but the plug gets hot. All right, so maybe the plug is just not rated to handle. It's only like 1,000 watts. That's how much power it eats up, like 1,000 watts. So it's not a lot. All right, and then you can adjust the rate of charge. All right, if you're not in a big hurry, then just turn it down a little bit. All right, this will charge anywhere from 1 amp to 12 amps. All right, and it's very fine precision. All right, is all I want to say. You can fine tune how much you want. It also has a voltage readout. All right, this will tell these gauges here will tell you how much current you're pumping in the battery. So when you're looking at it, you can adjust this and like, oh, I want 10 amps. All right, you just move this until it says 10 there. Okay, there's a light that tells you you're charging, and then there's a light that tells you you're charged. All right, the green light. What else? And yeah, it operates the same exact way as the Litespeed battery pack. Okay. Yeah. And then the voltmeter. All right. So this is on. There's two power buttons here. All right. That's on. Right. You're gonna charge. Oh, I just turned it on. Okay. Yeah, it's on right now. It's not plugged in though. And then you're going to hit this one, and it will tell you how much voltage. All right. So it says 84 volts right now because it's not plugged in. Look at it. Yeah, let's plug it in real quick. You guys can see. I don't know if you're supposed to turn it on, or from what I've noticed, you want, for the Qi battery pack, you want to turn that on before you plug it in, or else you'll get a spark. Okay. I didn't get a spark from that, so there you go. It's charging. All right. So, and we've got, this battery has 78 volts in it. All right, or 79 almost. If I flip the switch here, it'll tell you the current. All right. So we're charging at 6 amps right now, and I could turn it all the way up to 12. All right. The lowest it'll do is 0 amps. All right, man. Put it on 1 amps. All right. At a certain, so one of the things I've noticed about this charger that I don't like is if you're charging it if you're charging it at a really low current like it is right now, the fan doesn't turn on, and then it overheats. Okay, so you want to turn it on. You want to pump in as much current at least to turn the fan on. Okay. And so like I would do minimum 3 amps. All right, that way the fan stays on and the charger stays cool, because even if you're charging at a low current, this thing will overheat if the fan doesn't turn on. All right, and the fan is kind of loud too, I've noticed. All right, the fan is going bad on this one. It's starting to make all these weird noises. All right, but I don't really use this one all that much. In my opinion, I like the Qi battery charger better. It seems a little more robust. That's what I say. Okay, so yeah, that's the charger for this thing. Okay, and then yeah, so it just goes in the side here. Okay, all right. Okay, and then I'll show you how to install it on the bike, and then that'll be the end of the video. Guys, watch me install this behemoth of a battery in the bike. All right, I'm gonna do it from the other side so you guys can see what's going on, but I'm gonna make sure this battery thing is closed. I bet there's a little cap for the battery. All right, here we go, guys. Oh my god, it's so heavy. I feel like I'm gonna throw out my back or something. Okay, there it goes. Slides in. It's caught up in that bracket. All right. I have to really, there we go. So I have to really get it in there. So if I didn't take out that plastic thing, this thing wouldn't fit. I couldn't get it to fit at all. I was pressing on it, and then I just plug it in. All right. I might get a spark. Okay. And then what I'll usually do is I'll close the lid, and then I'll move this battery cable inside the lid. I just tuck it in there, and then off you go. Okay, my latch is a little loose. What I might do is put like a little pillowcase underneath here, so this doesn't move around all that much. It puts pressure on this. All right, you want to put pressure on that. Okay, but there we go. Okay, and then you can watch me take it out one more time. All right, hopefully this will be better than last time. What I've noticed is the battery gets stuck in there. Okay, there it is. It's stuck again. See? I hope I don't break the strap here. Oh my god. I have to make sure my handlebars are straight, then pull it out, and then pull it back a little bit. It just barely clears the latch. Okay guys, there you go. Alright, I got it out. Whew. Okay, then I'm gonna put it on the ground. Oh my god. This is gonna be a challenge, this race, is what I'm saying. Alright, Big here, and that's the end of my show and tell video for the EBMX 72 volt 42 amp hour battery. Right, they do sell them in different voltages, 60 volts, all right, 60 and 72, and different capacities. All right, this is the 42 amp hour one. They have a one that's even bigger. That's a 57 amp hour. I can't imagine how heavy that battery would be. It would be insane. All right, but you probably could ride with it all day long. All right? Is what I'm gonna say. Okay, and yeah, and then we did a comparison with the Litespeed battery packs. We checked out the chargers. You saw me install it, uninstall it, and you saw me how I had to modify my bike to get it to fit in there. In my honest opinion, I feel that, I don't know, this battery pack is nice to have, all right, if you really need the range, but the trade-off is it's really heavy, all right? It's heavy and it's bulky. I kind of don't like it. I'm glad I kind of didn't buy it, right? I'm still pretty happy with my Litespeed battery pack. I would like to try a Qi battery pack. If you live in the Bay Area and you don't mind lending Hades Omega your Qi battery pack for like a week or two for him to do a show and tell video on it, please hit me up, all right? If you have a Qi battery pack that's a 72 volts, okay? That's pretty much the only other aftermarket battery that I haven't tried. One of the big name brands, all right, the Qi batteries. Okay, I want to try it out. I've heard good things about the Qi batteries also. So would I want to buy this battery pack? You know what? After using it for like a day or two, I kind of don't like it. It doesn't fit very well in the bike, and it's super heavy. But it does give you that capacity, all right? It gives you 10 more amp hours. Okay, so you can ride it longer and harder, okay?
is the gist of it at the cost of weight. All right, it weighs a lot more than these batteries, so it's up to you if you don't mind having the extra weight. If you're not riding the bike really fast like Hayes Omega, then you know maybe you don't mind about the weight. All right, I kind of do mind about the weight. All right, so let's say, all right, I would say choose the battery for what you need it for. All right, if you need to go long distance, get the one with the higher capacity. It's going to cost you more too. But if you need to do like if you're going to do like a race and you only need to do like 8 laps around the track, well, maybe you don't need a that powerful a battery. Okay, it'd be better to have a lighter weight battery. You gotta choose. It's a trade-off. Do you want your bike to be heavier and more sluggish, or do you, but will have more power, or do you have, do you want less power, less range, but you want the bike to be lighter and more agile? Okay, so that's the trade-off right there. Right, in my opinion, like for a motocross race, you probably want big enough battery just to finish the race. Okay, and that will keep the bike light, and your rider will be less fatigued. All right, that's what I say. All right. But when I'm moving, I don't really notice how heavy it is. We'll see how it is when we ride off-road, though. I will be using all of these batteries in the Virginia City Grand Prix this weekend. All right, that's why I have 3 batteries right now. Okay. Thanks for watching. This is show and tell for the EBMX 72 volt battery.